Hey, we'll get in with Legacy FC. I'm here with Stephen Ocho Peterson. He's headlining Legacy 61, October 14th at the Bond Factory. He's going up against Mark De La Rosa, a very dangerous opponent, but you're up for the challenge, obviously. How does it feel to be the Legacy champion? Coming from 2011 when I saw you, now you're the Legacy champion. Is that something that's you've wrapped your head around yet?
Yeah, I mean, it feels amazing. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of humbling experiences, all put into one. Um, Basically, I became XKO champ back in 2011, and then I was humbled by George Pacarayu and Matt Hobar, and ended up coming to train with them, learning a lot, and made a run. And now I'm on a 6-fight win streak since I've been fighting at Octagon MMA, and now I'm the champ. So it's just a dream come true, and I'm not done yet. I'm headed to the top. I want to be in the UFC. I want to be UFC champ. I feel like I'm UFC champ material, and I'll be there as soon as they let me.
Definitely, definitely. 3 years. So 3 years now. Well, actually, if you're talking about 3.5 years, just undefeated. It's definitely what me and Coach were talking a little bit about, like when you made that transition. Did you ever dream, especially at that point, did you ever dream that we would be sitting here and saying 3.5 years later I'd be undefeated, I'd be the legacy champ? Did your dreams, did your where you wanted to go, did they go that far?
Yeah, I saw it. You got to see it, and you got to believe it, and you got to work and give it everything you got. Like, work towards that goal, and you can make anything happen. I saw myself as going straight to the UFC. First step was legacy champ. Now I got to defend my belt, and I can see it all up here. If you can't see it, it's not going to happen. So, I just see it over and over again, envision the victory, and getting picked up by the UFC, and then making my run straight towards the top. I feel like I belong in the top 10 of the UFC, and I can hang with anybody in the world.
Definitely. As far as we'll talk a little bit about Manny Vasquez. That was a great fight, but definitely being K side for that, it was two equally matched guys. That you guys both were beasts. The fight was nothing but just exciting, nonstop action, a lot of drama to a certain extent. Because it was a back and forth affair. Nobody ever really knows how the cards are going to go. So as we were watching the rounds, they were pretty solid. You were doing a lot of great work on the ground. They were some of those elbows that he ate. I don't understand how he just ate those, because he was a really tough guy. So talk to us a little bit about that fight, how it went for you, not so much as a viewer, but how you felt going through that fight through the rounds.
And Manny's a tough cat. I knew he was going to be tough coming into it, and he did exactly what I expected. His style was exactly how I expected. He was really slick, solid wrestler. I knew I was going to get cut in that fight. I actually had a cut going into the fight, and I had seen it. I knew it was just going to come open. It was a fresh wound, and I just envisioned myself working through that. And when it happened, it was nothing new. The blood in the eye, did cause me to, change up my tactics a little bit. And then the doctor told me in between rounds 3 and 4 that I had one more round, or he's going to stop the fight due to the cut. So I came out there like a bat out of hell in round 4, and that got me into some trouble. I went for immediate takedown. He hit the switch, took my back, and then I've been there before. I've never had anybody have their hooks in and full back control, so I made sure not to let that happen. I don't let myself settle in a bad position. So I made sure not to let him get the hook in, and then cleared him, got him over the top, and then ended up taking his back and choking him out.
Definitely. Like, I wouldn't say that there was a lot of, just a lot of people talking as far as the end. When you ended up pretty much he was unconscious. That's not really anything up to you. That's more the ref. But as far as the choke, as you see it was pretty deep, and you can see him, whether it be just his reflexes kind of moving. As far as you putting on the choke, you were just gonna just keep going until the ref stopped.
Yeah. At first I thought he was fighting the choke, but watching back on the video, you could see when he goes unconscious and his arm's moving. I think he's trying to get his arm on my elbow and push it up. So I actually start squeezing harder when he goes unconscious, but in my mind, he's trying to
stop you.
escape. You know, it was the fourth round of a back and forth title fight. A lot of emotions going into that, and I wasn't gonna let it go and then have him, you know, scramble, turn around, and end up on top of me.
Right. Definitely, you
So
don't want to lose that position.
hold on to the choke until the ref stops it, and you know, I feel bad for all the grief that the refs got. Steve Armstrong's a great ref, and you know, he didn't have the best vantage point from.
Yeah, because he was more from behind you guys.
He was inside the cage, and the video that everybody watches where Manny's obviously unconscious is the video from outside of the cage.
View,
so, you know, we were right up against the cage. It was hard for him to see. And in the back and forth fight, you don't want to stop that fight early. So
especially the championship fight.
yeah,
like
and Manny's fine. He's you know, healthy. So so it all ended up, you know, the right way. He chose to go unconscious rather than tap, which is respectable. I would do the same, and you know, I'd rather end up injured and unconscious than tap out and submit, especially in a fight like that. That fight for all the marbles, you got to give it your all.
Definitely. Now we move on. You know, it's kind of funny. You know, now that you're the champ, you don't really have time to. Well, you've had your time, I guess you would say, to enjoy it. But then now, you know, Legacy's throwing another beast at you. Mark De La Rosa. He's given up the size, but you know, he's a pretty solid striker, very fast. What are you expecting come October 14th?
Man, Mark's gonna be quick. Everybody's talking about, oh man, he's so fast.
Yes.
He's got such fast hands. Great. I love a good fight, and I got fast hands. I maybe not quite as quick, but they'll find their home, and they'll have a lot more sting on them. So when you get popped with these shots, you're not going to like it. I could sit there and take punches all day, whether you're Manny Vasquez, whether you're freaking whoever. You know, like these shots aren't. He's gonna tag me, and I'm gonna wail on him, and my striking is much more dynamic, so my strikes will have much more consequences than his.
And so I think people need to check it out. Also on your page, we talked a little bit about the Beastman Productions hype video, I guess you would want to say. I saw it. It got me pretty excited.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that, go to Steven's page. It's on there. Beastman Productions did a great job. It has some insert, you know, little just things about Mark talking, you talking. I think the end with you kind of just tell him to come on. And me as a fight fan, even as a Legacy guy, I'm just excited to see things like that. It just gets you gets you juiced up, gets you ready for October 14th. Wanted to get that. So how did that come about?
Yeah, Beastman has done some work with Mark in the past, some hype videos, and he had contacted me. Originally, I wasn't sure whose side he was on, whether he was, you know, trying to get some insight or whatnot. But I said, come on down, you know, we'll get some footage. It's not like there's any question about my strengths. The fight's gonna go how it's gonna go. He's not gonna get any insight that's gonna change. So I decided to go ahead and do the video, and he stayed really unbiased and made a really nice hype video.
Yes.
Mark sounds pretty confident that he's gonna have the answer for me, but I don't see that happening. So just show up.
Yeah, definitely. October 14th, Stephen Ocho Peterson. If you want to come see him in Dallas, because this may be the last time you see him in a Legacy cage. He may jump to the UFC. So October 14th, he's facing Mark De La Rosa for the Legacy title at the Bond Factory. You don't want to miss it. He's ready to roll.